Hi, I'm Lou. Washing machines are really easy to work on and most problems can be fixed for under $50. Today I'm going to show you how to find and fix the 4 most common issues. First, reach behind your washer and unplug it and turn off the hot and cold water. Next, unscrew these 2 screws. Pull forward and flip this up. Now take a flat blade screwdriver, stick it down in there, lift forward, and pull these brackets off. Next, you want to pull out this plug right here by squeezing and lifting. Now, amazingly, 2 minutes into the project, you can pull this entire shell off. The easiest problem to diagnose and fix is the lid switch. The washer will not spin unless the lid is closed. This peg right here pushes down in this hole which contains the lid switch. Sometimes, however, this lid switch can go bad. The lid switch simply attaches with 2 screws from right here and is held underneath, and then the wires go under here and connect to this connector. So when you get a new one for maybe $10, you just pop out this connector, take out these screws, and put in a new one in its place and everything will work just fine. A few years ago my lid switch went out, and I'm not going to recommend this, but instead of replacing it, I just cut it off and threw it away and wire netted the 2 black wires together and cut the green wire off. I didn't have to order a new part, but I've lost the safety of having the spin stop when I lift the lid. To get at the next 3 problems, we'll have to take the washer further apart. First, start by pulling up on this ring and lifting this off. Then turn this around until you find a screwdriver slot. Stick a screwdriver in, pry that lid off. Then use a 7/16 inch ratchet, grab down low, and loosen this bolt. Then the whole agitator will just lift right out. If you have these, you will also have to remove this metal ring and this plastic piece. Disconnect the water hoses and drain hose from the back of the washer. Inside your hot and cold water inlets are filters right there, and sometimes they can get clogged with sediment, causing your water to come out very slowly or not at all. And if that's the case, just take off your hoses and clean that out with like a screwdriver at first, and then stick a straw in there and use a vacuum to suck out the sediment. Now pull the whole washer out away from the wall and lay it down on its back. Now pop off these 2 clips and lift the pump off and swing it out of the way, tuck it behind that metal bar. Disconnect this motor wire. Pull these wires out of here and take out 1, 2, 3 bolts. These are 1/2 inch. Careful, this is a little bit heavy, but you pull the motor and transmission out just like this. The next problem you could be having is a bad clutch. This is actually a brand new one, that's why it's so shiny. But you can tell if it's bad by when you pull on it like this with a finger, it should be really hard to turn. If that's loose, then this is probably bad. And the symptom in the washer is that it sounds like it's spinning, but it's not, or it's going very slowly. To replace the clutch, you simply pull off this cover, pry out this retaining clip with a screwdriver, pop out this retaining spring, lift the clutch off, and replace it with a new one for about 40 bucks. Now let's take it apart a little further. Take off these 2 screws and pop off these 2 clips. To take off the motor. These 3 pieces together are called the motor coupler. You've got a plastic piece on this side with 3 pegs, plastic piece on this side with 3 pegs, and this rubber piece in the middle with 6 holes. So that goes on there, and then these 3 pegs go in there, and that allows the motor to drive the transmission. Now what can happen sometimes is you'll find that this is cracked and the motor is spinning and this is not spinning, or the pegs are sheared off, or this is ripped or something, but you'll know immediately that something's wrong, and you just order a new one of these 3 pieces in a kit for about 20 bucks. Pop these plastic pieces off with a screwdriver on both sides. Press on the new ones from the kit and use the new rubber piece and bolt it all back together. These rarely fail such that you have to replace them completely, but if they do, obviously you can buy this piece and this piece for about 150 bucks each and replace them. Another common problem is a broken gear inside the transmission. So to get in, I had to take the clutch off, and then we just have to take off these screws. And use a screwdriver and tap lightly with a hammer to pop the top off. So the gear inside the transmission that most commonly goes bad is this big plastic one. And this one is indeed bad because it should spin and turn this little gear with it, but see how it's slipping? These two turn independently. That's because the teeth are all worn off this gear. And you'll know when this happens because during your spin cycle, your washer will sound like this. To remove the gear, we'll first have to remove this little retainer clip. There's a specific tool that takes off these clips that look a lot like a tiny pair of long nose pliers. And it turns out that a tiny pair of long nose pliers, while not perfect, will get the job done just fine. Next, you lift off this metal washer. Pull your old gear off. Drop in the new gear that you got online for about 40 bucks. Button everything back up and your washer should be working fine. Thank you for watching, and good luck fixing your washing machine.